still leaves fingerprints. The Afro-Asiatic web is not just a language tree, it's a spiritual DNA. It suggests that the God of Israel, Yahweh, was not introduced to Africa by missionaries. He was remembered by a people whose ancestors once carried the covenant. Now here's where it gets uncomfortable. Because most Western Christian frameworks teach a north-to-south gospel. Europe received the truth, then generously brought it to Africa. But the deeper you dig, the more the map flips. We begin to see a southward flow from ancient Israel through Cush into Ethiopia, not the other way around. Ancient Jewish communities existed in Ethiopia centuries before European Christianity was even born. Jewish tribes lived among the Beta Israel of Gondar. They practiced circumcision, kept kosher laws, honored the Sabbath, not because someone taught them, but because someone never let them forget. And here's the twist, the high point of this part of the journey. In the Royal Persian Archive, one scholar from the court of Darius wrote, "The priests of the house of Yahuwah wear skins of spotted leopards and dance as the Cushites do when calling the storm. They beat drums not with violence but rhythm, and their prayers are like the winds of the southern lands." Think about that. A Persian scribe living over 2,500 years ago described the Israelite priests not as solemn European monks, but as ritual dancers, rhythmic worshippers in garments like those worn by Cushites. That imagery is electric. It speaks of movement, of color, of music, of a God experienced through the body, not just the mind. Now compare that to the stiff pews of many modern churches. Somehow along the way, the fire was exchanged for frost. The song of the South was replaced with silence, and the dancing priests of Israel were painted over with stone-faced portraits from Europe. But here's the revelation. The worship that once filled the tabernacle didn't vanish. It migrated. It echoed into the drums of West Africa. It pulsed through the feet of Zionist dancers in Ethiopia. It hid inside the call and response of enslaved Africans in America who never saw a Bible, but somehow knew the rhythm of deliverance. That's not cultural borrowing. That's ancestral memory. So what does this all mean? It means that Africa was not a footnote in the biblical story. It was part of the foundation. It means that the God of Abraham may have whispered his name in tongues that still survive in Nigerian villages. It means that when African descendants cry out to Yahweh today, they're not converting, they're remembering. And it also means that this conversation is far from over. Because in the next chapter, we will hear from the Bible itself. Not from outsiders looking in, but from the prophets and kings who said plainly, "I am black and beautiful. They mistook me for an Egyptian. His skin was like bronze burned in a furnace." These aren't metaphors, they're revelations. And if you've made it this far, don't stop now. Because in part 4, the scriptures will speak louder than they've ever been allowed to before. Stay with me. The truth is just beginning to unfold. Part 4, Scripture speaks of blackness. The silence wasn't always there. Before Europe's paintbrush,